Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a thorough review of the new ABH palette called Norvina. So this is her right here. This is not a first impressions, but instead I'm going to be going through everything that has to do with this palette. I've been wearing it a couple of times. I've done previous looks with it. This is like the fourth time that I use it. So I'm going to be going through everything. I definitely have different opinions. Mixed emotions when it comes to this palette, and I am so excited to be sharing them with you. I'm not going to be going into much details when it comes to the packaging and those details when it comes to this palette, because I figured we've all seen the palettes. It's the same packaging as with all of them. It has the velvet finish. Yes, it gets dirty. It has 14 eyeshadows in here like the other ones do, and we're just going to be going through the shadows one by one, giving you my notes on all of them, and I'm gonna walk you also through this eyeshadow look as well. So it's gonna be a demo and review of the entire palette. So before we get started, don't forget to give this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And yeah, if you want to see everything that has to do with the ABH Norvina palette, then please stay on and keep on watching. Alright guys, so like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm not going to be going into too much details when it comes to like the really packaging related details of this palette. This is what she looks like. Again, it has that velvet finish. When you open her up, it does have 14 shades in here. It has a generous mirror in there, and it does come with a brush also. So it's this one right here, and this brush I do use when it comes to my everyday use. I do use these brushes. This end right here, it can be a little scratchy, but it does a wonderful job when it comes to blending. And then the other side of the brush, it works wonderful when it comes to smoking out your lower lash line or packing on color on your top lid. So it's very handy. I really do like it. One thing that's different about this palette is that when you open her up, you do get a row of all shimmers and a row of all mattes. It's the first time that they do this, so that's pretty neat. And another thing that I found different about the Norvina palette is that it does not come with the ingredients on the back like the other ones do. This is the soft Glam palette, and as you can see, it does include the ingredients on the back, but it does contain the ingredients on the box, so I don't really mind if it's not in here. So once again, this is what the inside of the palette looks like, and I am going to insert some swatches that I did, arm swatches, and that was the very first time that I was touching that palette. So when it comes to the shimmers, same thing, standard formula when it comes to like the soft Glam and the modern Renaissance palettes. When it comes to the shimmers in here, they are super soft. So when it comes to dipping in your brush, like I mentioned with my soft Glam palette, all you have to do is just touch the shadow. You don't want to swirl your brush in there because you are going to get a lot of fallout. My favorite shade in the shimmers was Dreamer up here in this corner, but this one was the softest of them all. So even if you just touch the shadow, you will kind of like dig on it, and it is super powder. So this is the one where you do get the most fallout. I am wearing it actually on my shoulders right now and on my eyebrow right here. So that was my favorite shadow in the palette, and I know it's just like your standard inner corner highlight color, but it's super beautiful. I also liked Base right here, which is an all over shade that you can very well use just to set down a base for your eyeshadow at the very beginning. I always like to do that just to get a nice clean base to your eyeshadow, and then you can build color from there, and the colors that you put on top of it are gonna blend seamlessly. For me, the winners in this palette were the entire matte row. The mattes in here are so wonderful. They're very beautiful, and they're just your standard modern Renaissance and soft Glam shadow formula of a matte. So they work just like they do the other ones. The shade Soul, I know everyone was super super excited about this shade, this periwinkle shade. I was so excited about it too that I even matched my nails to it, and I'm wearing it on my lower lash line today, and it works beautifully. It packs such a strong color, a very beautiful color, same as with Love. So this pink and this periwinkle color are both beautiful. The shade Incense, Volatile, and Eccentric are all very beautiful transition shades that you can use to get your look started. I know another shade that everyone was super excited about was Wild Child up here, and it does have that holographic duochrome effect to it, kind of like how the Moonchild glows. It's very similar to this one. However, Wild Child, I would only recommend you using it on your inner corners and not all over the lid, because I did try doing a look all over the lid and it wasn't giving me that opacity that I wanted for an all over the lid color. I always use my fingers when it comes to lid shades and it wasn't doing it for me. It didn't have that much power. I even used a brush with setting spray, brush alone, which of course it wasn't giving me what I wanted, that punch of color that I wanted for my lid. So I tried different mediums, but what worked best for this shadow was just using it on your inner corners, which I did today. Celestial up here was another one of those shades that just grabbed me from the moment that this palette was revealed. And at first, the first time that I tried it, I thought it was going to be the same situation with Wild Child, where I was only going to be able to use it very sparingly and not all over the lid. But then upon second application, I am now wearing it all over my lid and I am liking it best now. And I think I prefer using it with a sticky base on the bottom, and that's what worked best for this shadow. Again, I always apply those lid colors with my fingers, and now today it's looking beautiful. I absolutely love the look that I came up with today. So again, I am liking this one now that I know how to use it. I don't think I mentioned this, but I did order this palette on Tuesday, the moment that it launched at 6 in the morning. I was with my eye on that website and I ordered it as soon as it went live, and then I got an order confirmation the same day and it arrived at my door on Friday. I don't know what time because I was at work, but when I got home from work it was right at my doorstep, so it was fast shipping. Even though I didn't pay the $6 for 2-day shipping, I still got 4 days shipping, and it was free, so it was worth it just to wait those extra couple of days. Now I sat down yesterday to try and film a first impressions when it comes to this palette, and I had a different approach when it comes to this review. So when I first sat down to try and do a review for this palette, I was like, I want to show everyone how all of the shades work. So when I sat down the first time, what I did was basically tell myself, okay, so for the first look, I'm gonna do the first look based on the first half of the palette, the left side of the palette, and then for my second look, I'm gonna go in with the right side of the palette. Now, mind you, I didn't spend any time looking at any inspiration because I wanted to go in as your regular user, not a makeup artist. I'm not a makeup artist, so I just wanted to look at the palette, go in and just see where my mind went when I had the palette in my hands and I needed to create a look. But what I ended up doing was limiting myself to choices, because when you see the left side of the palette, you think it's gonna be a very soft look and everything else, but I was kind of like restricted. And when you see at the right side of the palette, it's all very dark and very sultry looking, but then you have Celestial right here, and I just didn't know how to incorporate it. And when I was doing this look, I wanted to incorporate Celestial, but I couldn't because it was on this side of the palette, so I restricted myself creatively that way. And as a first time looking at this palette and wanting to create a look, I just wasn't, I don't know if I was just like unsure of myself, if like certain colors would look right with other colors, and I don't know, maybe it was just a matter of me stepping out of my comfort zone and just going for mixing those colors that I wanted to mix. But what I'm trying to say is that I just had to go to Instagram, their promo shoots, and grab inspiration for me to be inspired and know how to use this palette. This is just my personal experience. I don't know if this is the same thing that's gonna happen to other people, to other regular consumers like me, but this is what happened to me. I just needed to look for inspiration in how to use this palette, and I feel like it was a similar situation like when I bought the Prism palette, where I needed to look at other people's work to know how to use this palette and how to combine colors. At first I didn't know how to feel about combining purple and pink even together in a look, but then I looked again at the promo pictures and so on, and I saw all of these beautiful looks, and I was like, okay, so they do work together. Okay, I needed more inspiration and a little bit of a push when it comes to using this palette, because the first two looks that I filmed for this review video, I was just in love with those looks, and I've already created 3 looks before this one, and they were all without me looking for inspiration, and I was just not in love with this palette, and I was kind of feeling like I don't know how to use this palette. But now that I scoured Instagram, I dove in and looked at pictures, I was like, oh, okay, I see how I can use it. And one of the main things that I found out about like people using this palette is that they're only using, for the most part, the majority of the pictures that I saw, they're sticking to one color scheme. So they're sticking to like the pinks or the purples. So they're using like 3 shades at a time, 3 to 4 shades at a time. And not a lot of people are mixing just like everything together, because it's not gonna go. So when I got that in my mind, that I knew how to go about it. And as I was scouring Instagram and finding inspiration, I found this picture right here. And this was my inspiration when it comes to the look that I'm wearing right now. This halo eye using Soul and Celestial as the main stars of the show. And as you can see, it goes with that theme of just using 3 to 4 shades on your eyeshadow to make it all cohesive. So now let's walk you through this look in case you want to recreate it as well. And the very first thing that I did was, like I mentioned, use the base as a base for my eyeshadow. I think it's very aptly named. So I used this shadow just to set it all over my lid to have a clean base for my eyeshadows. And then I went in with the shade Eccentric right here, which I never would have thought in using this one and purple at the same time. But once again, once I dove in and I looked at other people for inspiration, makeup artists for inspiration, then I saw how it could work. So I went in with Eccentric all over my crease, and from there I just dove in hard into Soul. So it's Soul, it's again this periwinkle color that it's so beautiful, so pretty, super pigmented, super potent. I am gonna be doing inserts right now, and you're just gonna see how effortless it is to apply it on the lids, to blend it out, and to make it stand out. And once I had that color laid out, I did do something a little bit different that I don't think the picture had it on that look. So I went in with Drama. So Drama is a very beautiful dark purple color, but it has like colorful glitters in there. So based on the swatches, I know it's gonna be shown in the swatches. You're gonna see the colorful glitters that are on there. So I went in with Drama and just deepened out the sides of my halo eye just a little bit. I thought that it was missing kind of like that deep purple in there, just a touch. And then after that, I went in with Celestial all over my lid, and this time it was super easy to work with. I just grabbed it with my finger, applied it in the center of my lid, and then just blended in the sides to make sure that everything had a nice gradient to it. And then on my lower lash line, I'm wearing Soul, of course, just to mimic the top of my halo eye, Celestial in the center, and then just to smoke out that lower lash line to match the top. Once again, I did Eccentric and just smoked everything out nice and neat. I did eyeliner, lashes, I'm wearing my Kiss lashes, and that was the finished look. And this is the first time that I'm wearing this palette that I just love how my eyes look today, and and it's absolutely beautiful. Now that I know, now that I got that spark of inspiration that I needed when it comes to eyeshadow and this palette in particular, now I know how to go about it, and now I am super excited to be creating more looks with this palette. And yeah, you guys, that was my whole experience with the Norvina palette. It was definitely a little bit of a roller coaster, but again, once I saw all of those pictures pouring into Instagram and how people were using this palette, then I found my inspiration back, my spark back, and I knew how to go about it. I think that on my own, I just wasn't too confident in myself to know what colors would look nice together, how to work with them together, because once again, I just didn't know how to feel about purple and pink together. But again, that was just in my mind. I didn't know how it would look in real life, but all of that aside, it's just a beautiful palette. I absolutely love it. Once again, the mattes won my heart. These two are perfect for the summer, perfect for, I think they're gonna work beautiful for springtime, very floral looks. I think they're gonna look beautiful for that. And when it comes to the shimmers, we all know ABH shimmers are packed with pigment. They're super soft, so just be aware of that, but they're absolutely beautiful overall. The only one, Wild Child, I do not recommend you using all over the lid. I think it's too faint for something like that. I think it needs to have a little bit more power, more pigment, more opacity in order to be a lid color, and it doesn't have that in my opinion, but it's a stunning like inner corner shadow. And that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in those comments below if you did get your palette as well. Let me know what your thoughts were upon first impressions. How are you liking it? Have you done different looks with it? Let me know all of that in that description box below. And before you leave, once again, don't forget to give this video a big old thumbs up. It really lets me know that you guys are enjoying these kinds of videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like these, for more makeup tutorials, different looks, different things coming to this channel. And yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Take care. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you all hopefully on my next video. Bye guys.